Okay, we're live. Hello, welcome to the Cinema Savvy Movie Podcast. I'm Chris Garner, joined with my co-host Tate in the Hour, and welcome to Timestamp Zero. This is our brand new series that we're starting up just before our 1 year anniversary. It's not quite this today. A year ago was the first time we actually recorded a proper review. That was me and George. So it's not technically our 1 year anniversary just yet when the first video went up, but we wanted to bring this new series out. So basically, Timestamp Zero, how it works. It's going to take place on the last Sunday of every month, we hope, at the minute. And each of us take it in turns, listing films that mean something to us, and we leave it to you to decide. We have the straw poll vote. Tate, do you want to go into the vote and see? Well, people know what the winner was from the title, but thank you to everyone that voted, by the way.
Yeah, sure. Let me just pull back up the straw poll. So the actual straw poll just ended up with the vote between Gattaca, Whiplash, Brooklyn, The Usual Suspects, and the eventual winner, The Prestige. Now, what basically happened was, like, these are all films which kind of mean something to me, but they've never really been discussed on the channel other than Brooklyn. And I thought, you know what, these are films I would like. I was really tempted to throw in Citizen Kane or one of the really old classics, but I thought we got to try and keep it somewhat relevant. And I thought these are films that really do kind of mean something to me. And in the end, I guess The Prestige won, which, funnily enough, I was listing them in order of what I wanted to do them. So Gattaca was number one, then it was Whiplash, then it was Brooklyn. The Prestige actually was the one at the very, very bottom, but apparently it's the most popular out of all of them. So I guess we're going for that then.
Well, I'm completely fine with Prestige winning. It's one of my favourite films, one of my favourite Nolan films. I actually watched this movie not too long ago. I think it was about 3 months ago. My friend came over and I was listing all films that I liked, and I mentioned The Prestige, and he was like, you know what, I've never seen that. So it was a moment like, okay, we're watching Prestige right now, and he loved it. So, yeah, looking forward to starting this one. I guess this is sort of going to unofficially take the place of, if anyone's sort of been with us from the start, we used to do a show called Film Club, and that was reviews of older films. So I think this is going to sort of take the place of that, which I'm totally cool with, because it's sometimes good to just do a full run through of the film commentary, which is what this is going to be, and just talk about it and just discuss the movie. So yes, if you have a copy of the movie at home, get it to Timestamp Zero, which we both have. And if you don't have a copy at home, are we good?
No, keep going.
Okay. If you don't have a copy of the film at home, then me and Tate are going to do our best to provide context for the scenes and what's going on. It's just going to be a fun discussion, basically. So, are you good to go, Tate?
No, because I've just been sent a message from Tom, who may be joining us in a minute.
Oh, okay.
So we could quickly talk about Christopher Nolan and his other films, maybe, whilst we wait for Tom. So, what is your favorite Nolan film?
My favorite Nolan film would probably have to be Inception. Just the level of complexity in that movie. Every time I watch it, I kind of just shake my head in disbelief of how a human being physically thought of that whole story and the rules of it and everything like that. I actually think it's quite a remarkable film in that way. But as I said, this would probably be a close second. This movie followed up from the huge success he had with Batman Begins. It's sort of like put him back on the map as a director because, well, he'd already had success with Memento, which is another fantastic movie. And The Prestige is one of these films where a lot of people know about it. Like if you mention The Prestige, they go, oh, what's that one? And you go, oh, the Magic movie with Hugh Jackman. They go, oh, it's fantastic. But it's not one that's talked about a whole lot, I don't think. It's sort of left to the wayside behind his Dark Knight trilogy and Inception, Interstellar, things like that. But it is fantastic. Can you remember the first time you watched this film?
Yes, I can, because we recorded it on, like, downstairs. It was on TV a while back. I think it may have been on BBC Three or something like that. And I just finished watching The Illusionist, which was a film which I think came out at the same kind of time. I really enjoyed The Illusionist, and I was like, oh, it's a very similar film then. And I was just completely blown away. An element there of a magic version of The Usual Suspects with that kind of the twists and turns that take place in the film. I thought it was just brilliantly filmed, well worked. It's a thinking film, and I like thinking films. I like films that make you think instead of action films, which are all over the place and stuff like that, other than Mad Max, which was really good last year. But like films that really do kind of make you think on the spot. my kind of films. And if you look back at the list of films, I mean, we've got Gattaca, which is basically a thinking sci-fi film. We've also got Brooklyn, which I wouldn't say was a thinking film, but it was a very kind of nice film. We got Whiplash, Whiplash, which is just all over the place. It's a bit of both, isn't it?
It's just J.K. Simmons throwing stools at people.
I know. And then we got The Usual Suspects, which really is a thinking film. So I really did kind of enjoy it whilst watching it, and it's obviously why I put it on this list. However, I would have possibly preferred to see the other ones. Just gonna say that there.
Well, you know, never know next time when it comes. Well, it's going to be quite a few months, isn't it? Because we're going to rotate it each month for all of our choices. But next time, you never know. You can always use the same ones.
Next time when the poll comes out for me, I'm gonna have completely different films.
Oh, really?
Wildly different.
So you put them on offer out there for the viewers. They didn't take to it.
They don't want it, so that's fine. Scrap it. We'll go with some more films.
You've got to give the people what they want. But you mentioned The Illusionist just a minute ago. It actually, that and Scoop, which was a Woody Allen film, were two other magician films that came out the year. So there was 3 magician films that year, which is insane.
Have we had any since?
There was that. Oh, what was it called? There was Is that the one with Jesse Eisenberg?
Yeah, that's the one with Jesse Eisenberg. They got a sequel coming out. That's really the only film about magic which has come out recently, hasn't it?
Yeah, in terms of actual physical stage magicians, yeah.
Yeah.
But I actually, so you saw Illusionist first, and then you watched The Prestige. I was completely the other way around.
Yeah.
So Prestige was the first one I watched. It completely blew me away, and then this other movie came out, and you know how you get those asylum and sci-fi movies that come out around the same time as a big major release. Like you'll have Jurassic Park or something. It's like Jurassic Shark, and it always comes out at the same time. I saw The Illusionist, and I thought, is this like a straight-to-DVD rip-off of The Prestige?
I quite like The Illusionist. Not gonna lie, it was really good. The twist, however, in that film, I saw coming from a mile off.
Well, I can't really remember it, to be honest. I watched it the once, and I remember not liking it at the time, but the thing I remembered from it the most was sort of like the color grading in it and the visual style of it. Yeah. It was very grainy and like old looking, which I thought was pretty cool. But no, I can't really remember the film, in all honesty. But
that has a good revelation scene. You know, that has a good Prestige scene. The end scene of the magic trick, which is basically what is that? Yeah, it's the show, the turn, and then the Prestige, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the pledge. I think the pledge, the turn, the Prestige.
The Prestige, yeah. The Prestige of The Illusionist was actually really well done. It was an entire revelation scene. He stood there in the train station, and then everything passed through his head, and it's that moment where in The Usual Suspects, the cup gets dropped, and he just stood there laughing because he's just figured out everything that's taken place over the last few months. So, yeah, I mean, there's some good magic films out there. It's just that there probably isn't enough out there.
No.
I'd like to see a proper old school one. I'm not sure how many films out there are based on Houdini, but I reckon modern day version of that film would be quite good, from what I can think of. Other than that, I mean, my personal favorite film from the director is probably Inception.
Yeah.
Purely because now I completely understand the film. I understand the ending, and I know what happens at the ending now.
And I had exactly the same thing happen with Prestige. It took me a good few multiple viewings to completely understand what was going on.
But if we're talking Inception here, there is a theory out there for why what happens at the end. Basically, there is a theory out there for exactly what happens at the end. And now I completely understand the ending. I'm not going to spoil it, obviously. There's no spoilers here until you take it to it. And it's going to be very, very, very difficult to actually do this kind of live stream whilst kind of, trying not to spoil the ending of this film, because we'll be watching it and we'll know what's happening.
But no, I think Nolan's best films are the ones that do require the multiple viewings to fully understand it. Memento, The Prestige, Inception, probably the top 3 for that, I would say, out of all of his films. And I think that's when the writing really comes through, because you just realize how good like a character piece it can be, and just creating a mystery and the tension and the drama and how the film's constructed. I mean, you go to Memento, if you watch that, I think there actually is an option on the DVD to watch it in the proper No, get that film away from me, Tate. Get it away.
I was seeing how long until you'd notice.
Jesus Christ. Okay, with every film other than that movie, I would say has been a success for Nolan. Well, I mean, I know Dark Knight Rises was successful, but that was for money reasons. But no, this is actually based on a book, Prestige. I've never read the book, so I don't know how
close it is. There's a book on Prestige?
Yep.
Oh, I am looking that up.
It is novel of the same name, World Fantasy. Christopher Priest was the author, 1995.
Yeah.
So the screenplay was adapted by Nolan and his brother Jonathan. They usually are Christopher Nolan's films. But yeah, I don't know how close it is to the book. Do we have any word on Tom if he's going to be joining us soon? Or
he is loading up his laptop, so I'm not sure whether I'm not sure how we're going to play this, basically.
Yeah, it's going to be tough because you kind of have to have it in sync, don't you?
Yeah.
Because I don't know how long we can delay this for. Viewers will be getting impatient.
Well, we can put in the description exactly when the actual non-talking starts and we actually watch the film. So we can skip forward to that. I'm just having a look at see how the stream is doing at the moment. So yeah, do you want to talk more about kind of?
I mean, Prestige as well.
Yeah. Oh no, I was just going to say, do you want to talk more about how the channel has kind of evolved since the start? Because this really is kind of, is it coming up to the day, or is it the actual day where you actually created the channel? Not the first video put out, but like when you actually created the channel and stuff like that.
The first uploaded video was May the 6th, I believe. I'll have to check that, but I think that's when we'll have our proper 1-year anniversary video. We'll get something special out for that. I don't think we actually have a plan of what we're going to do for that yet, but we'll figure out something. But it was today where we recorded our first ever review. Me and George, that was on Age of Ultron. And when you kind of watch that back, you realize how we have changed the channel. I mean, we've brought on new co-hosts. Yeah, yourself, Tate. We've created new shows. We've sort of changed the ways we've done things. And we're at about 380-something subscribers at the minute. So when you kind of look back and you create that first YouTube channel and it's just at 0, and then you look at it now, and I mean, I know that 380-something isn't astronomical numbers in terms of subscribers on YouTube, but it is that sense of, okay, you know, people have actually clicked subscribe and do want to watch us guys talk about movies, which is pretty cool. When we used to start off the videos, we used to do the week in movie news, which used to take about 40 minutes before we even got to the damn movie review. So we kind of did away with that. And, you know, new shows, as I said, like My Reactions, you've got Tom's Film Reflections, which is going to be getting back to very shortly. And just things like that. And with new co-hosts, just like new ways of reviewing things and new opinions and stuff like that. So it is quite awesome, I think, how the channel has changed. Hopefully when we continue this into the next year, we can then get to then and see how much it's changed even more.
I think the scariest stat to look at, I'm just having a look at the stats now, by the way. Our video has been watched for 231 days and 9 hours so far. So 231 days worth of life has been drained by our channel. Think about that. Not only that, but like our views as well. I mean, in the first year, we've hit over 125,000 views, which is just phenomenal. I mean, if we can get to 150 by like the end of this weekend, it'd be brilliant. But yeah, I think from when I came onto the channel October time, it's just been amazing. I've really enjoyed myself. More than doing YouTube solo, to be honest. It's good to be kind of part of a community that wants to talk about films. Yeah. So I do have an ETA on Tom, by the way. It's 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes. We can do this. Stall a bit longer. I feel like a big celebrity is like meant to be coming on stage, and they haven't turned up yet. They're still in the limo.
We got to clap them in.
Show going.
We got to clap them in.
But no, I mean, with all those stats and stuff, but just a thank you to everyone watching. I mean, it says we have 1 viewer now. Thank you to that 1 viewer.
That might actually be me.
Oh,
I'm gonna put my hand up.
Well, thank you, Kate, for watching the stream. I really appreciate it.
I've got the stream going on the other screen just so I know that it's still kind of running and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. No, but I mean, with like the reactions and the reviews, just everyone, thank you for watching and commenting, especially the Ghostbusters one, just wow. You guys were great on those comments, and it's nice to hear a big collective shared hatred for the trailer of that movie.
You haven't actually asked for my thoughts on it yet.
No, okay. So, what do you think of the trailer? If you say you like it, then I might just end this stream right now.
It could be worse.
Can it? Could it?
Well, it's got potential because you have to think it's at least trying.
I don't
Some
think
films
it
out
is.
there nowadays, no, it is. Some films out there just do not try at all, and you can see that these guys who are filming it are Ghostbusters fans. They are, and they're trying to do something different. They're trying to keep up with current trends, and at the moment, that is kind of where the media is leaning, and they're trying to do that. However, I know it doesn't work, and I know it will not work. But the fact that they're trying and they're trying to show homage to it by like bringing back the old like Ghostbusters mobile type thing, they're bringing back kind of like the Slimers and everything like that. They're at least trying. I mean,
lack of originality.
Some films would just slap the name on and then have the film completely different. At least this is trying to stay somewhat close to its roots.
I have no words for that. Just, you know my thoughts. You saw the reaction.
The thing is, I'm gonna say it is gonna be a bad film and it will crash and burn.
Oh,
But you have to give them credit for at least trying. And I know that it's very terrible that the movie industry is going with this kind of reboot sequel type thing. I hate it. It's one of the most horrible things in cinema to go through. However, it could be worse, and I don't think it will tarnish the original Ghostbusters.
No, but
and that is what really matters.
You do kind of want to keep it sacred, though, right? Like you've got the first and the second, and that was it, and people still remember it. And now, when you bring up Ghostbusters, it's going to be.
Are you really saying that the second?
Terrible.
Are you really saying that the second Ghostbusters film is sacred?
Yeah, like the first two, I would say. Like it's nowhere near as good as the first one. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's still a decent movie.
If I was going to rate the Ghostbusters films, I would go Ghostbusters, the Ghostbusters 2009 game, and then Ghostbusters 2.
Oh, but what about Vigo and like the Titanic scene? And the walking Statue of Liberty. It's fantastic.
The Ghostbusters game was way better.
I never actually played much of that, to be honest. Like a lot of people in the comments on that were saying like there already is a Ghostbusters 3, and it's called the game that came out in 2009. I remember playing the demo and thinking it was pretty decent, but then again, it was kind of like a retread to the demo. At least it was the library scene from the first movie, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I've done this before.
Most gaming demos are taken straight from the game. I mean, the only ones nowadays, like, they've got now, like, prepaid content, and you've got, like, the prepaid demos, just like, what's it called? Was it Ground Zeroes for Metal Gear Solid?
Yeah.
Which was, like, 40 quid for, like, a 10 game, which is ridiculous.
Which should have been part of the regular game anyway, and could very easily have been a good promo.
Yeah. But, no. That's the way that games are going nowadays.
It was actually hilarious, though. Just go back to Ghostbusters really quickly. I like the Ghostbusters page on Facebook for the old film, but now it's all changed, obviously, for the new one because new ones are coming out. And there was a picture of the one in it, I don't know her name, with the line with the caption that says, "That stuff got everywhere, by the way, in every crack." And the comments were hilarious. It was just like, wow, this is the peak of their humor. It's like it's funny because she's referring to the
not gonna lie, most of the cast were from Bridesmaids, and I didn't mind Bridesmaids.
I haven't actually seen Bridesmaids, in all honesty. I haven't seen that, so I can't really comment on their humor chops, their comedic chops.
It's an okay comedy film, however, it does kind of base off that kind of humor. It's just trying to apply that kind of humor to a beloved film, and that's where the problem lies. Yeah. So they are a funny group of people individually. I think most of them are Saturday Night Live alumni. But like when it comes down to
always the material they're given.
Yeah. It's always the material they're given. It's what you're applying it to as well, because you got to think Ghostbusters, beloved franchise. You don't touch that, even if like they brought back the old team. You'd probably hate it because it'd be a bit too much like The Force Awakens. Some people would like it, some people would hate it, and you just have this war going on the internet. You don't want that. What you want instead is an all-female cast and kind of rehashing bad jokes, and then have an all-round internet war. It's difficult to determine. It's difficult to judge.
And like even even if they didn't put the Ghostbusters name on it and they just created like an original film, you would have everyone saying, well, this is a rip-off of Ghostbusters because you've got a female team this time taking on ghosts, even if you have a different name on it.
They could have done it Zombie Hunters. That could have worked.
Oh, I guess zombies are still popular, right? But they're kind of on their last legs at the minute. It's like the whole vampire craze when Twilight came out. You had, what was it, Vampire Diaries, True Blood.
Have you seen What We Do in the Shadows? That's hilarious.
No, I haven't seen that.
That film is golden. Seriously.
I'll have to look into that one.
A-OK. It's brilliant.
Okay, I think it's been more than 5 minutes. Do we have a Tom? If not, we are probably just going to have to go for this because we can't keep stalling any longer.
I've just sent him a message saying we are starting in 1 minute and see whether he joins or not.
Okay, it's the final countdown.
Yeah, quickly on the topic of video games, because that's kind of my second love. Well, sport and video games, but yeah. I'm interested to actually know what kind of video games you kind of play and stuff like that.
I'm going to be honest, I haven't gamed in a good few years. It's sort of just like, well, one, my PS3 has Yellow Light of Death and has for like the last year. I currently have my PS2 hooked up. It's there if I need it, but I often don't find the time to even do any gaming anymore. But back in the day, the stuff I used to play, I was really into racing games. So my favorite kind of stuff was Burnout. That was probably my big major series. I had Split Second as well, which was a game that came out on the PS3. That was very, very fun. And then other games that I played, I love my RPGs. I love my fantasy RPGs, JRPGs as well. Dragon Quest VIII, which isn't an entirely well-known game, but it's very good. Kingdom Hearts. Other games, I'm just sort of listing names off. Shadow of the Colossus, God of War. I love the God of War series. And Vice City. If I was to pick one game that's probably my favorite game of all time, it would be GTA Vice City, and it's probably the pinpoint in my history of what gave me my love of the 80s, because I played that game when I was about 9 years old, I would say, 8 or 9 years old. Say what you want about that, about age restrictions on games, but I think it's fine if someone knows that it's not real. And Vice City is just fantastic. One of the best soundtracks ever. Oh, we have a Tom.
We have a Tom.
Yes.
Yes, Tom.
Tom, can you turn your mic up a little bit more?
Let's have a look. Can I turn my mic up a little bit more? What's going on?
We are experiencing slight technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Okay, are we all ready to start watching The Prestige then? Because I'm ready to go for this.
Is this? Can you hear me at an adequate volume?
We can hear you at an adequate volume.
Okay, cool. I need to turn my sound down on my television.
And it's also nice to see you've got your Labyrinth shirt on because David Bowie is in this movie.
Yeah.
Ah, yes. I got my loot crate today, and I forgot he's actually in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we all good to go?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, we've all got the movie on timestamp 0. Okay.
No, not yet.
No.
I literally just purchased it for a rent, like 5 seconds before logging in. So if Amazon decides to start playing, then this is ridiculous.
That's fine. Okay. Ooh.
Mad rush to.
I'm ready to.
Oh, for God's sake! Come on.
Come on, Tom. We believe in you.
Come on, Tom.
What the? Yes, play. Clicking play, and it's not wanting to work. It's typical. Right, I'm gonna. Let's say, can you ensure your device is connected to the internet? Well, it is.
This is just like our generation, isn't it?
Oh, this just sums up technology, just in general.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Are we all ready to start playing?
I'm ready to go.
Hold on. Let me restart. I'll catch up.
You'll catch up.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Chris,
Okay.
are you ready?
Right. Yeah, I'm good to go. Okay.
Going
so
on 1. Yeah.
Going on 1. Okay. Yeah. 5. Oh, you two. If you've got a copy at home, get it to timestamp 0. Get ready. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, whenever I see this with a Nolan movie, I always expect it to go into like Hans Zimmer's like bass from Batman Begins, like the music just to kick in.
Because that's the only music he can do now.
I actually went to see Hans Zimmer live in Birmingham a couple of weeks ago. He was fantastic.
Because he wasn't doing any of the Inception bombs.
Oh, he was. That was the entire second act. Okay, so we're still at logos at the minute. There we go. Warner Brothers Pictures and Touchstone Pictures present, right?
As
Yeah, I'm not sure if I got sound or not. This, if I remember, the start is very silent.
Yeah, it says, "Are you watching closely?"
Okay. Okie doke.
Okay, so just to check, we've got a Michael Caine in front of Birdcages.
No. Now we
No?
do. I'm at
Oh,
I'm at 110 now.
well, so am I, but my version might have more film logos than you.
Probably.
Tell me when you
Are you-
see
are you watching
Hugh
it?
Jackman on stage.
Now.
Okay, got it.
Cool.
That'll do. We're vaguely in sync now.
Happy anniversary, Cinema Savvy.
Not quite, but
Not
happy
quite, but
anniversary
yeah.
of the first recorded video. Yeah.
I'm really enjoying my black screen at the moment.
Well, we all know that Christopher Nolan just makes like really dark films, but he just went a bit OTT on that one. What I love about this movie is that it just throws you right into it here,
Yeah.
and you have to kind of learn and discover as the characters do.
Well, I mean, the whole thing is essentially one big magic trick in it of itself,
Yeah.
and sort of turning the typical mystery conventions, kind of turning them on its head, and it gets overly complicated, even though the answer is always the simplest,
Mm.
which is what I really like about it. Yes. We've done it. Warner Bros. TV, Warner Films. Okay. So, where are you up to?
Get it ready around the 3 minute mark, and Tate will cue you in. We'll go with
Yeah.
Tate's sync point.
Okay, 3 minutes.
Okay, 3 minutes at now. The Prestige.
I mean, of course, this film brought back cast from Batman Begins.
Yeah.
You had Michael Caine, you had Christian Bale. This is the only Nolan film so far that's had Hugh Jackman in there.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, because he's really good in this movie.
It's one of his much better movies he's ever been in.
I'm surprised, in fact, they didn't put Bowie up forward for like a Riddler adaptation.
That'd be interesting.
Well,
But like, even I know we're not at Bowie yet, and I mean we could probably save that and talk about it when he appears. But just casting Bowie right, like the only two
Yeah.
films I remember him from are Labyrinth and this. So like the casting director, really, really interesting choice with that, and he's pretty good in the film, to be honest.
Yeah.
he was also in The Man That Fell to Earth.
Mm.
That's a really good Bowie movie.
Oh, remember when Christopher Nolan had levity in his movies? I just love Michael Caine. He's without a doubt one of my favourite actors. He's brilliant.
Going to disagree with you on that one.
You're like Kane.
Very. I'm not a Kane fan because I think he's gotten away with playing exactly the same character in
Yeah.
all of his films.
Yeah, no, I'll agree with that.
Yeah,
And it's
okay,
no
yeah.
different
But it's just so likable. I just love Michael Caine, and he does turn in a solid performance in every film that he's in. Yes, even Jaws 4: The Revenge.
Well, there was a famous quote that he said one time where it was someone asked him why he does all these terrible movies, and he said, I don't want to do the terrible movies, but you should see the house or the boat or the car that I bought with it.
Yeah. No, I mean, it can't always be a Daniel Day-Lewis, right? Just like do one
No.
film every 5 years or so if you feel like it. I mean, you're going to have a great resume of movies at the end, but as an actor, sometimes you just have to take the hit, right?
Everyone's got to eat.
That's it.
Even Samuel L. Jackson's probably the worst for those bad films, with Michael Caine being a close second.
What, in terms of just doing any movies?
Yeah.
Hey, Black Snake Moan is a fantastic movie, okay?
I mean, some of his work, I like. Everyone loves Harry Brown. I don't see the appeal.
I wasn't a fan of Harry Brown. I thought the premise of Harry Brown was great, I just don't think the execution was fantastic.
This is
Tate's just chowing down on his food.
This is one of two movies Christian Bale was in 2006. The second one was Rescue Dawn.
I haven't seen Rescue Dawn.
Which is really good. Werner Herzog.
Well, you're actually a huge Christian Bale fan, aren't you, Tom?
I am. I think he's a brilliant actor.
See, that's where we kind of differ in opinion. Like, I like Michael Caine. Christian Bale, like, I've never met the guy in person, but just based on what I've seen, he doesn't seem like a very nice chap. And I guess that kind of rubs off on my perception of him as an actor. He's great in American Psycho. I love that movie to death. I think he's great in that movie.
I think he turns in a pretty solid performance in here as well.
Yeah.
Prestige. He's not. I mean,
he's just a bit monotone sometimes. Like, he's just very samey. And I think why I like American Psycho so much is that he has that element to him, but he also has like the really zany, cartoony side to him.
Well, have you seen the Fighter? That's sort of zany.
Still need to see The Fighter.
That's essentially a film about Christian Bale's performance. That's it.
What I will say about him is that he is just immense dedication when he loses like loads of weight or puts on weight, whatever he has to do. It was probably 2004 when they were going into pre-production, but where he did The Machinist, and then he went straight into Batman Begins within the year. That was incredible for an actor to do that.
Is that the most weight lost then to weight gain? Weight lost for a film, wasn't it?
It probably was. He looked terrible in that. I think like even doctors were saying like, if you keep up with this.
He wanted to go slimmer. He wanted to go lighter.
He did live. He lived off. I think it was cans of tuna, an apple, and cigarettes, and that was it. To get that skinny.
And then for Batman Begins as well, I remember listening to the behind the scenes where they were making the Batman suit. He actually got too bulky to even fit in the suit, so then he had to lose more muscle mass to get in the suit. That's insane.
He could have played Bane at the start.
Can you imagine the relief that washed over him though when it was like, okay, now you've got to do Batman. Now you can just like eat pizza and eat whatever you want.
I'm sure it's not that. What's the word I'm looking for? My mind's gone blank.
And now we're in Colorado with Hugh Jackman. And it's cold, which I never got because I always thought, Colorado, as soon as I think of Colorado, I don't immediately think of snow. Now that may be down to my American kind of bad American knowledge, but I think Colorado and I immediately think sun, warm. But no, Colorado is a place where you go skiing and snowboarding and stuff like that.
Now, I'm awful at geography, especially US geography, but wasn't Colorado where The Shining was set?
Possibly.
I'm not sure. Like that overhead shot we just got of the train really reminded me of the opening shot of The Shining.
Is Colorado Midwest or Northwest?
I have no idea. Don't ask me. I'm not the guy for that to answer that question. Okay, one thing I want to mention about this movie is, and I guess this sort of goes in line with Memento, this probably has one of the most forgettable music scores I've ever seen in a film. But David Julian did the music, but for some reason it works for the film. It's not a film where you need to pay attention to the soundtrack. It sort of complements the film nicely. It's just like a sort of underlying drone to it almost. It fades into the background because you are so focused on the mystery itself and the characters. And we're about to see one of the most underrated actors of our generation?
It's Midwest, Colorado, by the way.
Right. The great Andy
Uh,
Serkis.
uh,
He's an actor I want to see in more roles like this, where
Andy
he's
Serkis,
actually
yeah.
himself in person.
Well, King Kong, but not really.
No. I mean, he was good in that, like with the material he had, but I'm not a huge fan of Peter Jackson's King Kong. He's just a guy whose career's just absolutely skyrocketed. I mean, I mentioned this in the Jungle Book review, but I mean, he was just a guy in a random little unrefined motion capture suit in Lord of the Rings, has become second unit director on the Hobbit franchise, and now he's off doing his own films, directing his next Jungle Book film. I think he runs a thing called the Menagerie, which is the whole motion capture studio.
Ah, right.
There's an article of that in Empire. I have to try and find it.
Mm. But yeah, I mean, when this film came out, this was when I was just so into Nolan films. Like I was like George, like he was my favorite director. He could do no wrong, in my opinion. And then that little movie in 2012 came out, and then since then, it's sort of put a bad like perception of him in my mind.
None of his
personally,
films have been bad per se. They've just been not very good Nolan movies. I wouldn't necessarily call them.
Well, I thought The Dark Knight Rises was an absolute just abysmal movie, just like really poorly constructed movie.
Film?
Yes, that film.
Have you not read?
And then Interstellar was okay, but I wouldn't say it was absolutely magnificently groundbreaking.
Have you not read The Tale of Two Cities?
No, I haven't read that.
Well, that's exactly what The Dark Knight Rises is about.
Great, because that's what I want in a Batman movie.
Yeah, but that's
No, but that's the thing. Like
Really
Batman,
redundant
I'm not. I know. I'm not even going to get into it. We'll save that for another review.
I'm
I'd
gonna
have to say that this is probably
the Prestige.
Wait a sec, guys. At this point in the procedure, I'd say this is really where the story starts.
Yes. The rest was just kind of set up, wasn't it? Just get you into tone with it.
But this is really kind of where the story starts. And he gets his axe, his trusty axe.
Mm.
Starts his ever so trusty watch. And I would like to go see a proper old-fashioned magic show because I've never actually been to one.
Dangerous as shit, though.
Yeah.
And I do love that, though, as you just mentioned, like, there is, even at this point, that dread where he picks up the axe and with the watch.
Yeah.
Michael Caine's just sort of the by-the-books magician. Well, Angier.
Yeah.
You could almost say this is sort of an allegory for Christian Bale's own acting style, because in it the whole he's so magician never reveals, becomes so dedicated to his craft that nothing else really.
And he kind of reinforces this in a minute, where he tells him to go and see the Chinaman with the goldfish bowl trick. This was actually nominated for a couple of Academy Awards, I think, as well, this film, for the cinematography and art direction.
Let's have a look.
Yeah, received Academy Award nomination, yeah, for those two. Wally Pfister, cinematographer.
I mean, Wally Pfister is probably one of the best cinematographers working.
Sadly, not one of the best directors. What was it? Transcendence. That was his directorial debut.
It was his debut feature. Yeah.
And good luck for him getting another one. It's going to be very hard for him to get another one.
Well, loads of worse directors have gotten films made. after their first one was abysmal.
Costumes are pretty great in this movie as well. Just like I love this whole aesthetic here, like the whole 19th century stuff. It's really cool. Who plays Hugh Jackman's wife in this scene? I'm just gonna have a look.
Would that be Piper Perabo? No.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one. Let's see what she's done.
Looper.
She was in Beverly Hills Chihuahua.
Ha! Wow. What a bad film that was.
And Cheaper by the Dozen too.
Jesus, that is a trashy filmography.
She was in Coyote Ugly, which is a film I've never seen, but I know it's sort of got a bit of a cult following. And that's about it. But she's pretty good in this film.
Interesting moment of the film. So it really does show how far a person would go, and basically explains what happens at the end of the film, all in one scene.
Yeah. So that is probably the moment. That is the catalyst where it's, if you want to be great, that's what you've got to do.
This is where he realizes it.
Yeah. It'd be brilliant though if that's what they thought the actual trick was, just how he actually puts himself over as an old man. It was something really very simple. So Hugh Jackman's one of those actors, and even in this, where I kind of don't see a character, I always just see Hugh Jackman.
Which version?
He's not Wolverine in this one. He's just regular Hugh Jackman in this one.
What about Eddie the Eagle?
That was Wolverine. When he gets out of that truck thing and he's in like the jeans and the black shirt, I was like, that's Wolverine. This is one of those films where if you're showing someone it for the first time, it's just brilliant to just sort of watch their reaction to it as they're like taking it in and trying to work it out.
I feel like that's exactly the same with another one of my picks, The Usual Suspects.
Yeah. But unfortunately with that, I think that the ending of that film is just so in the collective consciousness.
But it's iconic.
It is iconic, yeah.
That's the whole point of it. And then this film loses marks for not actually having a sex scene. I think that would be a definite ding in, what's it called, CinemaSins.
Here we have Rebecca Hall's character. She's actually one of my favourite actresses, probably. She was in The Town, the Ben Affleck movie. She's brilliant in that film. This is probably her best role, though, in my opinion.
You're jumping like 1 or 2 seconds ahead of me, I swear.
I'm just at the minute where Christian Bale's saying that the bird's fine with the cage to the little kid.
Wow, you're way ahead. How on earth did that happen?
I have no idea. Tell me when she just says he's my nephew.
Okay, wait a sec. Keep waiting.
Oh my god.
You've gone so far ahead, I don't know how. Wait a sec.
Great first time, stamp 0.
Wait a sec.
Working out the kinks.
Exactly, it's
Wow.
it's like
Here we go. Yeah, there we go.
Okay. Okay.
I'm severely lagging behind. Connection issues out the arse.
This bit actually like really disturbed me when I first watched just the dead bird. I was like, oh, that's unfortunate.
Ew. Ew.
Oh, there's all guts at the bottom of the cage. Ew.
Dinner.
Now, this is one thing I noticed, and I get. Would we have some first-time viewers on this one? But you know the whole thing with Christian Bale in this movie.
Yeah.
He has a notch in his left eyebrow. I'm wondering if that's a tell as to which one it is. So I'm going to be watching this throughout just to check.
Yeah, I'm rewatching as well.
See, I have seen this film countless times, and every time I watch it, I always pick up on something different. And I still do that with Inception as well.
Now, which version of Rebecca Hall is this? And how does he do this trick?
How does he do this trick? Well, it's obvious. That's the whole plot of the film.
God. I thought I had the Prestige on DVD, but I don't.
Took me ages to find my DVD. I had to like just go through every single. I've got films all over the place. You can't really. Oh, actually, if I turn.
Oh, that's a burning sight.
Yeah.
See, this film has a lot of great quotes in it. I believe there's one coming up in a second. I think they really did take a lot of time to write this screenplay properly. I mean,
That's still one of the things I get a little bit confused about in this film, and I guess we can save it for the ending, but the whole Lord Cordlow thing.
What?
It's one of the things I get a bit confused with, the Lord Cordlow thing. I don't know if we're giving away spoilers, right, because we're just doing a commentary. But
I'd assume people have already seen The Prestige.
I don't know, we might have some people who are just going, you know what, I'll watch it along to it. But the whole Lord Cordlow thing is still a plot section which I'm just really confused by. Like, was he always a lord? Or... And the act was that he was just Angier, you know? I don't really know.
What's your time?
Well, mine's a bit different. Go with Tate.
What's your time, Tate?
I'll tell you when we get to 23. Now.
Like
Okay, I'll tell you when we get to 23:10.
All right.
Now.
Well, I'm currently on 22:30 on my version.
You're really far behind.
Tate, is this the scene where they're just tying their wrists up?
Wait a sec.
They're tying their wrists up.
Seeing as I've completely forgot that yours has got more adverts at the start than mine, so I'm just going to say this now. At the moment, they are binding her wrists.
Yes. And they just
now
had the scene
to being binded.
Yeah. They just had the scene where Christian Bale gave the no-in look to her because they're going to do
He is now officially changing the knot.
In mine, they are hooking the thing up to her wrist.
I am like 10 seconds behind them.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'll go from there. We're around the same area.
Yeah.
She's just been hoisted up now.
He clapped and she is being hoisted.
Okay.
Joe, though, I bet that is cold water as well. I bet that when they had to film this, she filmed it in cold water. Oh no, that looks cold. Not gonna lie.
And I remember when I first watched it, the tension here with the watch.
Yeah. It would have been a better scene if they possibly made it the actual length, you know?
Yeah.
Not like skipped seconds. That would have made it really tense. Maybe like a director's cut, extended cut. That would make it amazing.
Come on, Michael Caine, put you back into it. What's kind of heartbreaking as well, like in these days.
Yeah.
That she's just dead. You know, there's no CPR or kiss of life or anything like that. Just they didn't know about it. So in those days, it's just, you know, you're dead. Nowadays, she'd probably be alive.
Dust it off and go, well, I'm not doing that again. Oh no, sad Hugh Jackman.
Yeah. He's gonna break into song now, like Les Mis.
Sometimes when people cry on film, I sometimes think they laugh. They're laughing.
Yeah.
They go. Obviously not that.
He's just
Okay.
like, oh my god, that's so funny.
Okay, so that scene there
This
where
scene is
Hugh Jackman's
heartbreaking.
just
The scene where he's drowning himself is just absolutely heartbreaking.
now. I sort of like read into that scene in two ways. One is that he's physically just trying to kill himself in the same way because he misses it, and the other one is that he just wants to experience what it would have felt
Yeah.
like. I mean, this line here, and it sort of gets a reprise at the end in a different way.
Yeah, this is actually quite a good monologue.
Yeah.
Oh, this bit.
Mm.
It's a really beautiful crematorium where they're at.
Yeah.
Oh, oh, the hate from that question.
You don't know. Oh
He
man.
sounded very Australian then when he said that.
Mm.
You don't know. You don't know?
What's interesting though is
You don't know? Sorry, God.
oh wait, I've just been introduced to Fallon.
No, not yet.
Oh
Not
my
yet.
god.
Yeah,
Tell
now.
me when it.
Oh,
Yeah,
into
okay.
the room.
Okay. Now, what's interesting is I've shown this film to about 2 or 3 other people for the first time, and they've always been shifty and wary of the character of Fallon right from that introduction scene.
Hmm. Yeah, it's very interesting.
And every time I watch it, I have to kind of just dismiss it because I want the
Yeah.
twist at the very end to be intact.
I'm staring at this bale. I'm looking.
Yeah. The camera angle's a bit weird though. We need the other side.
Yeah.
And I think that's sort of going back to what you were saying earlier, right, about Inception. The
Yeah.
that other thing, the little intricacies you can notice.
Well, it's a show of good filmmaking, and if you on from the second time or third time of viewing, you notice little details that you didn't pick up before. So, for example, like in every scene in which Cobb is dreaming in Inception, he has his wedding ring on, which gives you a little tell as to the ending. But that's also open for interpretation.
Mm. I'm still trying to look for the eyebrow and I can't see.
I feel like every scene of this movie is connected to another scene in the movie or mirrors another scene in the movie. And that is very clever of a director to do.
Mm. I mean, this gets absolutely heartbreaking
this
towards
bit
the
here.
end.
You guys are enjoying the movie. I'm having loads of technical issues.
We're having sync issues. I'm at like a hand wafting over a little bullet at the minute.
Like, apparently my bandwidth is too low, so it can't stream.
Okay, Tate, are you at the club now where he's doing the metal rings trick? He's tapping the rings together now.
Nope. Wait, I'll tell you when he taps the rings.
It's going to be about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Tapping.
The only thing is it because our copies are different, and it's how the
Possibly. But the movie's going at
Stream-
the same rate for me.
yeah. He's just holding the gun at the audience now.
I'll tell you when he brings out the gun. I'll tell you when he brings out the gun.
Oh my
Okay.
god! How is this?
He is bringing out the gun.
Jesus, are you watching it in slow motion?
No, I'm not.
You're just watching it in double speed, Chris.
You know what? I'm gonna let it go past, and then hopefully mine will catch up.
Hopefully no one at home's having issues like this.
No. Hopefully we'll try and get this sorted for timestamp 0 episode 2.
Yes.
Attack of the Clones.
Oh, if someone chooses Attack of the Clones, I am just not watching it.
So what's the order?
That's a good point. I have no idea.
Oh, wait a sec. After the scene. Oh.
When I first saw this scene, I was like, oh, damn.
He recognizes him
He's
immediately.
Old Man Logan in this scene. God, can you imagine being in Christian Bale's situation right now? You'd be like, shit.
Oh!
What the hell happened?
My hand! It's got an extra finger!
God, that must have been so goddamn painful. Jesus Christ.
This bit as well.
Mm. But we know that he tied it. We saw it.
Yeah.
So I think that may have been a slightly more effective if we'd have just seen the glance between them and didn't actually see him tie the knot, maybe.
Yeah. So a year has now passed, I can only assume.
Yeah.
I don't see any infliction on his face. Oh no, I see it.
Yeah. Oh, I must be off base on that one then. I thought that might be a little tell, but it's got Michael Caine's phone number on there. Get in there, Hugh Jackman.
I need that as a gift to pick up, like, that is how Michael Caine picks up girls. It's just like, number on the bottom, you just slide over. You know
Hey, it
Caine's a real
worked.
player.
They're now engaged in conversation. It worked.
Yeah, that's true. No need for chat up lines, just like a card on the bottom of the glass, then slide the beer over. He didn't even have to smile. He was just sat there, just like, yeah.
Yeah, he's already got the drink in place. He knows exactly what's going down. Casually slides it across the table.
And then I'm never sure what side Michael Caine's character is on.
I think
I
he just
can't
kind of
tell
wants
whether-
to do the right thing.
I can't tell whether he is a hero or a villain in this film.
I think he's a hero. Ultimately, how it pans out and how you're sort of meant to connect with it, because characters you start to like at the start.
Or is he a
Just
kind of a
the
middle
level
character?
of-
What would you say, Tom? Would you reckon this would be a good topic for a Timestamp Zero?
Whether Michael Caine's a good guy or not.
In this film?
Questionable.
I think he is, because he's helping him. He wants to be great. He wants to help Hugh Jackman get to that next level. But when he sees the level of madness that he's resorting to, that's when he starts
Yeah.
to back off and think things have got out of hand. So I think that's why you can infer that he's a good character. But I do still think he respects his craft. He respects the magic and the act of the illusion. So that's why he's willing to go to these extremes at the minute to try and just get that classic trick. And we have our introduction to Scarlett Johansson, who's in a box.
Yeah.
She's actually really, really good in this movie. I've said before that
Yeah, she
I
is, yeah.
think she can be a bit overhyped as an actress. She's very usually monotone and very samey in most of her films. But in this, I do think she genuinely puts in a great performance. And does a very convincing accent as well.
A pretty assistant or just an assistant? That's what the film puts to the test.
Mm. I mean, no character's really wasted in this movie. I mean, even Scarlett Johansson has a lot going on towards the middle part of this movie.
Yeah.
I would really be interested to read the book, actually, or if anyone's watching this and has read the book, let us know if it's
Yeah.
very close to it or if it's just sort of adapted only in name and theme only.
Be interesting to see
Looks
how
like
this
a goddamn-
contraption was actually meant to work.
Yeah, I wonder. Nolan's not really great for special features on his DVDs, to be honest. Which is a real shame. I don't know if he wants to keep that illusion of how the film was actually made. Like a good magician never reveals his secrets, but
Yeah.
I don't know. When I watch Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit or something with Peter Jackson's extras, you are kind of just spoilt with it. But it is great to see how it's made.
This is something I've some people I've read have leveled some criticism at the film because of the contraption Hugh Jackman uses in it.
Mm.
And they say, well, I don't kind of want to get into this because it's kind of a plot spoiler.
Well, I think we're giving spoilers away, right? Aren't we?
Some in this film, but not the big ones.
Okay.
Oh, well, this is tied to the big one. Well, some people have basically said about the machine, how sort of if you have this technology, why would you not showcase it, as it were?
Well, I think if it's the thing I think you're talking about, they didn't know, did they, Tesla? It was
No.
just sort of like an unfortunate thing that they didn't really understand themselves. Plus, they had to get out of Dodge really, really quickly because they had, is it Edison? I think they mentioned, sort of like rocks off the
Edison's in
joint
town.
and burns the place down. So they said that they got it built, they got it tested, they know it works, but, you know. And also even, well, I kind of want to save it for his actual monologue because it's probably one of my favourite bits of the movie where Hugh Jackman's talking with David Bowie's character, and Bowie says like he recognises how, you know, a hobby can turn into an obsession. Or obsession can turn into madness. I think that's what the whole film's about, really.
I think this film is a lot about obsession and revenge and the lengths that people would go just to... Yeah, just the lengths that people would go just for revenge in this film.
But I think when you get to the end, And these are always kind of the best protagonist antagonist. And I don't even think there is a clear cut protagonist and antagonist in this film, which is really well done about it. But I love when they have that mutual respect for each other.
Yeah.
Like even at the end, like I love that. I love their disguises. Oh, this bit's brutal. Oh. Tate, give me a sync point.
I'll do when the cage snaps.
Oh my god. Oh, okay.
You're ahead again.
Snap.
Again. I will give it 30 seconds.
Oh dear.
Tom is just like, hello darkness, my old friend.
Honestly, I can't enjoy the brilliance of it when I've got so many technical issues.
Seriously, I don't understand, Chris, how your DVD is just going so fast.
I know, I've just got the bit now where the guys come in, like the proprietor of the place, and is saying, clear all your stuff out.
Kane's talking to Jackman and saying, like, your act's basically done now.
He's saying about change the act, change the name of the act.
I have a couple of methods to try out.
That's alright, I've let you go ahead a bit, so hopefully mine catches up and then it sort of levels out.
But mine's going at a normal pace, I don't understand.
I know, it's... Is it bit rate? Is that what it's called? I don't know technology. I don't know.
God damn it, Amazon, go faster.
I mean, it's still working out the kinks, but can only get better from here.
That's it.
Hello, Mr. Circus.
Does a great. He's such a good actor. He's genuinely a really, really great actor.
Underrated, I'd say.
Completely nails the accent as well. The motion capture is brilliant though, because you do look at his face and you do go, you can see the Gollum comparison. You really can.
You calling Andy Serkis ugly?
Hey, Gollum is a beautiful human being. Okay.
Not a human.
To you.
I'm gonna tell you, not a human, Chris. Oh, he's not a human.
He's a Stor, which is a subspecies of hobbit in the Shire.
Oh dear.
I know my Lord of the Rings lore. And now, obviously, Andy Serkis is playing Supreme Leader Snoke. Snooky.
It's that. It honestly, that the name sounds like it should be in like Sooty and Sweep.
It's...
Welcome back to the City Show with Snow.
It's like this decrepit, like little hand puppet.
One thing I will say is that I think Nolan is a very. I admire sort of Nolan's want and need to shoot on old 35 or 75mm film, because we're headed into the realms of digital, and I kind of think that film reel is sort of a lost art.
Yeah.
And that people
you can really tell the difference though when you watch it back. You really, really genuinely can. Like the biggest one for me recently is when you look at The Hobbit, and then you compare it to when you look at Lord of the Rings. You can tell that was shot on film, and it looks so much more just richer and grittier, and it's really nice. I know you're not a huge Tarantino fan, Tom, but like he's a big proponent for still shooting in film, and you can really see it in his films as well.
Yeah, because
quickly on this scene, because this scene is absolutely beautiful.
The light bulb scene, right?
Yeah.
It just all turned off for me.
Yeah, now they're in the Royal Albert Hall.
Yeah, okay. I think we actually might be in sync.
No way!
This won't last for very long, but...
The first time ever.
I do kind of miss the days of top hats, though. Like, can you imagine walking in London now, just everyone in top hats?
Oh, that would be great. Although one of the guys there is wearing a bowler hat, so.
Yeah.
Actually, no. Do you know what? You walk through London, you see a couple of fedoras, you feel it's halfway there. Tesla and his very dangerous machine.
In all honesty, okay, would you want to clear out the place if you saw that thing?
Yes. It's shooting electricity out. I'd run for the hills.
So you just want Palpatine there in the backstage, don't you? Like, unlimited power!
Always with the Star Wars references.
Oh, I love Palpatine.
Always with the Star
That's where you go. Nope, 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 no, 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 no. I'm out.
But Christian Bale there is just like, yeah, that's pretty badass.
So, yeah, Tate, I was. What's the? Because I know you're the organizer of the. Or
Yeah.
you were the organizer of this first one.
I am the organizer of the first one. I believe the next person up is George, and then it's Tom, then it's Chris.
Okay.
Okay.
So we all can pick brilliant masterpieces, and Chris can pick something like Cobra.
Oh, okay. Cobra is a fantastic movie. Thoroughly entertaining. 80
Oh,
minutes long.
this is also devastating.
Mm.
One thing I will say is that Christopher Nolan, his films are all about the ideas, the sort of ideas-driven films. Sometimes the characters get lost in the script, and you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
However, in this, I do think the characters are very well portrayed in terms of how they're written. But something like, especially in something like Inception, especially with Ellen Page's character, she's essentially just a walking audience member who has to have everything explained to her.
Well, there's Matrix comparisons with that film, right? I mean, you get the whole bit in Matrix as well with Neo sort of exploring the world of the Matrix, and he's a very similar style character. But he actually gets because he's at the forefront of that movie, he actually gets the character arc and becomes the chosen one. But no, I completely agree with that, and I think that's...
Well, so guys, important scene.
Yes. But I just think that with Nolan films now, he's made so many films at this point that you can kind of see the tropes of his films starting to compound on themselves. And that, for one, is that when people talk, no one feels like a real person. No one has those moments of humanity or anything to that. I think that's sort of going with what you say about the script gets lost in it. It gets very wordy and philosophical, and you can have that, sure, but sometimes you just need little moments like this scene now. Like, this is one of my favourite scenes in the film.
Oh, this is brilliant.
Where he's toying with the prison guard.
I disagree with you at a certain point. I think you can tell past, say, post the Dark Knight is where they start to become more idea-driven than character-driven.
Yeah. I actually think the guy who plays that prison guard there, who's been chained up, I might be completely wrong, but do you guys remember Rise of the Planet of the Apes?
Yeah.
The guy who gets locked up in the chimpanzee cage, he's sort of the nicest one of the bad guys, if that makes any sense. I think he was in Lemony Snicket's series of unfortunate events as well, with the guy with the hooks for hands, who was Count Olaf's lackey.
Yeah.
That's something I still haven't seen yet.
It's a very good film. I enjoy it.
There's going to be a TV show, isn't there?
Yeah.
Here we go. And we introduced Bowie's character, finally.
Just get into that for me. And he walks through the electricity like a badass.
He walks through the... Oh, he hasn't walked through yet for me.
Oh, okay. I'll pause it. Jesus Christ. That's when you said, Bowie's there, I was like, oh, okay.
Oh,
He's
now
appeared.
he's walking through, and he has walked out the other side.
Okay, I'll wait. I'll wait.
If anyone can sort of explain what the issue might be, it would be very helpful for future timestamp zeros.
Yeah.
Mm.
I would like to know why Tesla put on the accent. I know that, like, the accent is there, but Bowie's accent is just a bit, I don't know, in the middle. Don't you think?
Yeah, no, I'll agree with that. Like, I like Bowie. I think he's a good actor, but the accent is very sort of, it's very Star Trek, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hello, Captain. That kind of,
It's a very tragic story about Tesla as well.
Hmm.
Because the guy pretty much could have solved the world energy crisis when he was alive.
Mm.
But thanks to companies that want people to pay for fossil fuels and not free energy, you get contraptions made by Thomas Edison.
It's all about the money.
Hmm. Not to get overly political, but
That's one of my favourite lines coming up as well from Barry. I love this scene where he goes, "Have you considered the cost?" And then Angier's like, "Oh, yeah, money's no object." And he goes, "Maybe so, but have you considered the cost?"
Yeah.
I feel like I should have a drink with me, because you two are like chugging away at stuff.
I'm
I'm
chugging away at
constantly
my Buxton water. We are
So-
no way endorsed by Buxton.
What I've got here is some Jägermeister.
Well, that's one way to get for a film.
You know
Well,
what? For my timestamp zeros, I should just pick all terrible films.
So I'll save it for Transformers if we ever want
Yeah.
that.
Oh, you know that George is going to pick Transformers.
I've got-
And I will vote against it happily.
As will I. Jesus Christ. I'll create accounts and purposely vote against.
That's one thing you can say about Nolan films, that even the bad ones, they're not as bad as Transformers.
Yes.
I guess I'll. Yeah. Okay.
No matter
I
how
mean,
much
and even the good ones, like this film here, like. But we all know that Chris doesn't like that film, does he?
We all know that I still bloody own that film, though, against my better judgment.
I can understand your point of it being wordy, which I kind of agree with. However, if your sole complaint, or one of the sole complaints of the movie, just generally in terms of other people as well, is how Batman fights, then the movie's doing something right.
Well, no, because the whole action stuff was never at the strongest point of Nolan's films, really. The car chases were absolutely, they look fantastic, but in terms of Batman's actual fighting style, he was just a bit of a, left hook, right hook.
Once again, another scene explaining the entire film.
I'm at the metal rings part now.
He's twizzling metal rings.
Yes.
He is now putting the metal rings
I
down.
absolutely love the editing of this scene.
Yeah.
It's like the slow build of this scene, how it keeps cutting back to Scarlett Johansson and Hugh Jackman with his realization. Oh, and how the music cuts out there. So good. And I love this, how this shows the biggest difference between the two, really. How Christian Bale is probably the better magician, but Hugh Jackman has the showmanship. And I think
Yeah,
he says
yeah.
like to dress it up and.
And I feel like that may be a tale of the magic industry right now, because I mean, if you could name one famous magician or two, I'd
Hmm.
immediately think Penn and Teller. Is it what's the brown guy? David, what's his name? Ah,
Um,
David Brown, is it? Or
Darren Brown.
Darren Brown? That's the one.
Yeah.
Not really a
Those are the two.
magician.
He's more of an illusionist.
Yeah.
Mm.
He can do magic tricks, though, can't he?
It was like, is it David Blaine?
David
David
Blaine,
Blaine.
yeah.
He's a goddamn wizard.
Dynamo.
The guy,
Don't-
the guy
yeah.
sat in a box for 7 days.
Yeah.
An ice
Or
box.
something. It was just like, what on earth are you doing? That's not magic. do something good. Stupid show, idiot. I had that on DVD.
How when they try and find Hugh Jackman's
video.
double when they actually get around to it, they literally just find Hugh Jackman.
I feel like I'm a broken record with these scenes with Christian Bale and Rebecca Hall, but these are just heartbreaking.
I know,
Every
but
single one.
yeah, but you don't know. How many different children did they use for their kid?
I have no idea.
I've seen at least 3 different like actresses for that kid.
They tend
So
to, don't they? Okay, as opposed to like what the actual outcome of the machine is, this is probably the most far-fetched bit of the film.
Yeah. They
I'm
acted.
yeah.
Although it's
I mean, I'm
brilliant
cool
by
with
Hugh
it.
Jackman.
Oh
It's
yeah.
brilliant by Hugh Jackman.
What bit are you talking about?
Where they just so happen to find a double of
The
Hugh
thing
Jackman,
is, if you
played
watch
by
the
Hugh
filming,
Jackman.
if you watch the filming, you never see their faces in the same shot.
Yeah.
Seriously, even at this bit, you never see their faces in the same shot.
And actually, drunk Hugh Jackman double gets one of my favourite lines in the entire movie.
Yeah.
I think it's after he performs the demo of the trick, and he goes like, "Yes, you would drink too if you knew the world half as well as I do." Love that line. Oh, there's an absolutely
though,
brutal bit coming
They
up
are
later
basing
with that
this
drop.
trick- They are basing this trick on the ability for the audience to not hear that trapdoor opening.
Yeah. Well, that's why they slam the door, right? They slam the door hard to try and mask the sound of the trapdoor.
Like, what happens
I
if
think
you
that's the first time I've heard Svaljan with an English accent.
Yeah. And I think this was actually the first film I ever saw her in, to the point where I thought she was British.
Huh? Another thing. Is this the only Christopher Nolan film so far which has taken place in the past?
What's
Other than the Dunkirk movie coming up.
I haven't seen The Following. That was his first movie, but I think that took place in modern day when it was made. Then he did Memento, Insomnia. What else did he do? He did Batman Begins. He did this. Dark Knight. You know what? Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
Oh no, you see them both in the same scene there.
Do you?
Yeah, both of them are there.
You know,
They're not looking. No, you don't. You don't see the face at the same time.
Yes, you do. The camera pans around them.
No, you don't. That's a stunt double.
You see them face on.
on the topic of magician films, you know what other one is kind of a really underrated movie?
What's
Go on.
that?
The Illusionist.
Yeah, we're talking a bit
yeah.
about that at the start.
I actually really like that. It's got Paul Giamatti in it, and anything Paul Giamatti's in is.
Oh, and it's got Edward Norton, famous for his Captain America film.
Oh man,
Yeah, just beat the dead horse.
slip of the tongue. Hey, I'd watch that movie.
Yeah,
Never
you were. Yeah.
ever. Never.
But no, Paul Giamatti is just fantastic. I mean, me and you both watched Ironclad.
God's sake.
If no one's ever seen the film Ironclad,
No.
it's not a great movie, but Paul Giamatti makes that film.
It's fun.
He
it's
makes that film
fantastic.
very watchable.
That's something I noticed. She didn't actually open the door fully, so it didn't invoke the trapdoor.
Oh, okay.
What happens if you're like sat on the side of the stage? You like,
Yeah, I always wondered that.
can you like see them like fall down? Like when
Now, the real trick here is the fact that he was able to throw the hat in that perfect direction.
yeah.
So I'm at the scene now where Hugh Jackman's underneath the stage, sort of taking a bow.
No, you're about. Oh, nope, he's just snogged Scarlett Johansson.
Oh my god, I'm ages ahead again.
He is
yeah,
now
so next time.
taking his bow underneath the stage,
Okay.
which is
I'm-
it's a good kind of.
It's a nice image.
It's a nice image,
You
but
guys
only in
are
context.
very laggy.
What, on our actual webcam?
No, on my end, you're very.
Everyone's
And there
fine
you
for
go.
me at the minute.
Everything about this film is talking about the end scene. I swear. Some films have other context thrown in, but everything about this film is all leading towards that final scene.
Well, see, the thing is though, they sort of reveal the end in the middle
Yeah.
with that. Well, I mean,
The hats.
Spoilers.
They reveal it at the start, to be honest, with the hats.
they do.
But only if you're clever enough to see the clues. That's the whole point.
That's
one of those films.
that's the opening line of the film. Are you watching closely?
Yeah, and you need to be.
No, like I don't know what the rules are on plugging other channels, but it's not exactly a plug. It's sort of I know that Nerdwriter 1 did a video about the Prestige and the intricacies of the plot,
Mm.
and sort of what clues would you say are the most prominent ones that come to the forefront of the film as you watch it a second time?
Every time he says the words, "Are you watching closely?" you need to watch closely. Everything about this film is instructions. Like just now, Hugh Jackman just said to Scarlett Johansson, "I need you to be a spy," and she goes and be a spy. So
She's gonna don her Black Widow outfit.
yeah,
Oh god, don't remind me of those terrible films.
For me, in terms of clues, it's sort of what I said earlier with the character of Borden. Like I said, like every time I show the film someone, they always sort of cut onto that straight away. See, once you've seen it and you already know the ending, with the clues, it's sort of you just know it, right? Like the whole thing, every time she says you don't, when he says I love you, she says like no you don't today. Those kind of things.
well, the hat's a massive clue, and
Yeah.
if there was going to be a simplistic poster for this film, I'm pretty sure it'd be the hat. In fact, I'm gonna have a look.
Well, I mean, the poster on the DVD is just sort of very bog standard. It's just the characters' faces with Scarlett Johansson in the middle, serving as like a divide. But I don't even really know if Scarlett Johansson does serve as a dividing character between the two. I mean, there's the sort of scene with this bit here, and then it's sort of paid off later where you get the extra bit of that scene. But I don't know if she's really a character that drives the plot in terms of dividing the two apart, because I think that comes right from the start in terms of their actual ambition.
Oh good god. Made myself jump.
The poster from The Prestige, the minimalistic one, is the rubber ball falling into the hat.
Oh, right.
So
Why did you make yourself jump, Tom?
because I'm now playing it through my computer,
Yeah.
and I had the volume up so I could hear you, and I
Ah.
stopped at the bit where Michael Caine was hitting the glass, and it just made me jump.
I'm just going to put the Miller poster into our chat just so that you guys can have a look at it.
Cool.
So what? Where are you about? What?
Halfway through the film, exactly halfway through the film.
My timestamp says 1 hour, 2 minutes, and 45 seconds.
Mine says 1 hour, 5 minutes, 26.
Jesus
But
Christ.
at the moment, Scarlett Johansson is talking to Christian Bale.
And for me, the scene has just cut off to Michael Caine's scene now.
Oh, you're a bit ahead then. Oh, no, you're about 2 seconds ahead.
Okay. And I mean, later on we get the payoff to that scene, which serves as another twist. This film has so many twists. It has little twists, and then we get the big one at the end. I would like to see Christopher Nolan hire the sound editor of his older movies compared to his newer ones. Then again, this doesn't have a Blair and Hans Zimmer soundtrack behind it.
No, but I don't think it would suit it. I feel like a gentle soundtrack works for this film.
So what I mentioned earlier, because you are watching and listening closely, and the music just sort of serves as a nice underlying tone for the film.
A soundtrack similar to Gattaca would work in this film.
Yeah. So don't get me wrong, my favourite soundtracks are the ones that you can like listen to from beginning to end, and it takes you to the movie. This would not be a soundtrack I would ever buy or listen to ever, because there's just nothing going on in it. But for some reason, when you watch it with the visuals, it works.
Here we go.
This bit of the film is like really hard to watch because it's just that lack of control.
Yeah.
All instigated again from Christian Bale, but
yeah. And this is where the competition comes in, because Christian Bale is doing this to get back at him, to get back at him, to get back at him. Yeah. And he looks up and he hasn't got up yet. Oh no, wait, no, that hasn't happened yet.
I love this kind of editing as well, and there was if I'm going to think of a film that did similar kind of editing, it was probably Steve Jobs from last year.
Yeah.
In that exchange of dialogue between Jeff Daniels and Fassbender.
I need
so
to
good.
rewatch that film.
So do I. Really, really good film. And again, going back to that sort of mutual respect thing, even at the end of that movie, where Fassbender says, like, imagine the things we could have accomplished together. I do love drunken Hugh Jackman in this film.
Yeah.
This bit where the curtain's coming down, he just has to run back underneath it.
And he knows. He knows it's crumbling. He should have stopped the trick there.
This bit is absolutely brutal. Always makes me cringe, this scene. Oh!
Wait a sec. He has thrown the hat.
Oh, that crunch.
Oh! Ah!
That sound effect, right? That's the sync point right there.
Yeah. Oh, and then he heads up.
This is actually probably one of my favourite bits of the film as well. Christian Bale plays this bit brilliantly. But I guess, like, as a fellow magician, like, he has kind of ruined his trick, but he has all sort of... He has kept the illusion of the trick because people wouldn't know that that's a double.
I'm surprised that Michael Caine's character didn't shut down the stage.
Mm. I mean, the lighting guy and everything must have been in on it because they brought the spotlight down.
I feel like at this stage, Christian Bale's character has a reasonable amount of money to play with, because otherwise he wouldn't be able to pull off all of these tricks.
Yeah.
Even though the big trick he doesn't really need money for, however, it does still take dedication that needs money to do that.
Mm.
Although Scarlett Johansson just flicks between the sides.
Mm. Oh, there's a line coming up here which is just really, really just heartbreaking. Again, I know that seems to be the key word of this film, but it's the bit where she hands him the journal.
Oh, misdirection.
All the time, Olivia.
Accent's kind of slipping a little bit.
Ooh, ooh. Hugh Jackman getting sassy.
Oh, she took the notebook.
Just repeatedly written in there, I'm Batman, I'm Batman, I'm Batman. The key words are Huey Lewis and the News.
That's keywords, not keyword.
Oh, okay.
Imagine if there was
Oh.
if they released these online, if there was a second message with a second keyword for the cipher.
Mm. Oh, that was the line there when he says, I don't care about my wife, I care about his secret.
Yeah.
And then he has that sort of realization there.
Yeah. Sighs, grunts.
Oh, don't you just love those kind of subtitles?
I love
The worst
subtitles.
ones that like tell you what kind of music is as well. It's like ambient music, tense music.
When he goes to stage the break-in, right? What would how great would it be if you saw Batman hiding in the corner?
Oh, like Batman v Superman. He is a master of stealth.
Oh. Oh.
The birds are all witnesses. Murder them all. And now Scarlett Johansson is evil, so she's wearing a black dress.
See, that's what he went to Tesla for.
Hmm. So he used it as just stage decoration and to draw
Yes.
other people in. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, this film is all an illusion.
Mm.
We all know what that was all about, don't we?
Mm.
Oh. I forgot about this scene.
This scene's fantastic. Really, really good.
This reminds me a lot of LA Noire. Don't ask why. But if there was a re-released British version of that,
Mm.
this would be it.
Now, this is like a mission in Assassin's Creed where you have to tail someone.
Oh, what every mission in Assassin's Creed.
The really, really irritating missions that I always used to keep failing at and have to restart.
That's why I don't play Assassin's Creed. Wow, I just had a subtitle that said heart beating.
Oh yeah, you can
Top
do that.
notch.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever noticed that in it really before. It's part of the musical score, though, right?
Technically.
What an elaborate setup that was.
Yeah. He just happened to take that particular street and everything, get it all set up. Boom.
You guys are a couple of seconds ahead of me, aren't you?
Yeah.
See, Michael Caine at this moment in time, is he good or is he evil? Oh, I forgot about the gunshot.
I'm at the stage now where Christian Bale's walking in
Yeah,
graveyard.
he just started walking the graveyard for me.
Okay,
I'll tell you
pause it and let
when.
you catch up.
I will tell you when Angier gets in shot.
Okay.
Now.
I've paused at an absolutely hilarious place with Christian Bale's face. And that line just a minute ago, which Christian Bale said, where he says, "You're not afraid to get your hands dirty," that's another line that comes up again.
All of these lines come true, I swear.
Yeah. And one thing I'll say about this movie as well is watching it again now.
That's evil.
Yeah, that is evil. But watching it again, like even when you know the ending, it's still a thoroughly enjoyable film to watch.
Yeah.
And it is almost like you are still trying to work it out, even though you kind of know the ending anyway.
I'd say I can't understand why Michael Caine at this stage would go through with that.
Mm. Well, this is the moment now. I think that was probably the realization where he says that he's not going with him to Colorado. I'm going on an adventure.
The first film where Michael Caine goes away for half the movie.
Yeah. Oh.
And comes back at the end.
I'm going to use a great line from a film that should have been picked over this one. I'm away to America.
Hang on, can you just hold that up again? And give the classic line.
No, I'm not going to. But you should totally watch Brooklyn.
I need that film in my collection. That's on DVD, right? That's not Blu-ray.
Yeah, it's on DVD,
yeah. I mean, I do like getting Blu-rays, but for some reason I just love DVDs. I think it's probably because the bulk of my collection is on DVD. So when I get a Blu-ray and it's shrunk down, it really irritates me.
Can Blu-ray players play DVDs?
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. But DVD players cannot play Blu-ray.
No.
See, I've got loads of DVD players still. What's the point?
For some reason in this scene, Christian Bale really reminds me of Daniel Day-Lewis's character from Gangs of New York. Just in that bit
Butcher.
there, when he was being like really just over the top and theatrical.
Yeah.
Visually looks similar as well.
Freddy.
It's the moment where we're just like all caught up in the movie, aren't we?
He's not going to say.
But she works it out later on in the film, which is really just like credit to her character. But then ultimately, because of that, I believe she was also in The Gift, which was a thriller
Now,
that came out.
Did you guys notice where he just looked when she said, "You're still performing"?
No, I didn't see that.
If you know where the room is situated and where people are situated in the room, you'd know exactly who he looked directly at when he said that.
Huh.
This would be a lot easier if this was a spoiler-filled one.
Yeah, it would. We'll have to wait for comments. If people are sort of watching it and already know the film, then
Yeah.
we'll do
Well,
spoilers
we'll
from
be
here on
talking.
in.
We'll be talking spoiler version at the end, but for now, I
Yeah.
feel like we need to continue on.
Hmm.
We could possibly do a vote on whether it's spoiler-free or spoiler-filled.
Yeah.
Although spoiler-filled is never fun to listen to.
I mean, we've been sort of talking about the ending a little bit, but we've been very vague about it, so...
Yeah.
And here's the
film's
rest
very
of
vague
that
about it, to
scene
be
from
honest.
earlier. The payoff to that scene from earlier. Her accent's really solid in this film, actually. Sort of just listening
Yeah.
to it. Always wanted to be able to do that with a ring he's got on his fingers.
Hmm?
That thing he does, where he's like rotating the ring on each of his fingers. Thought that was really cool.
Okay, I'm at that stage now.
Oh my god. Okay, I'll pause it. Ah, why is it doing this? Oh, this is a great scene as well.
Ooh.
Ooh. I feel like this needs like the Saw soundtrack over it for the ending.
Oh, it's that moment of realization. Oh, that would make me angry. That would probably send me over the edge, not gonna lie.
Then Angia subscribed to the Weapon X program and became the Wolverine to exact his revenge on Batman. Oh, you should make like an army of Wolverines with the machine. It'd be unstoppable. It's like, I'm not complaining about Bo or anything, but I am just really bewildered at that casting. I
Yeah.
really would have liked to have known where that idea came from.
Cat's just like, nah, I don't like this. This is not fun.
And then the cat pulls out a gun and shoots the other cat.
That's where the cat became sentient.
Yeah. Evolved into a goddamn panther. It's weird how it has that instinct, though, isn't it? Like when it runs outside, and you hear it
Yeah.
fighting with the other one.
Do they just use generic cat sounds?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that sound
probably.
effect's used in everything, isn't it?
The Wilhelm scream of cats.
Yeah. They're repeating the sound effect now.
I bet that cat had a lot of static when it went and hit that other cat. That would have been like a thunder punch to start off that fight.
But it's interesting, like, is that just animal nature, or is that what the machine does, where it forces you to want to try and find the other one and hurt it? Because the cats are fighting each other, and then we know what happens with Hugh Jackman every time.
The hats tried to find each other, you know? They're just like, hey, let's all group together at some point.
Cat's like, yeah, I have friends. So one thing I want to know is, I guess we're sort of going straight into spoilers at this point now. We're talking about this cloning machine and everything, but how did they know the exact point where it would transport someone to?
They didn't.
Because later on in the
there.
film,
I had not calibrated it. He just said there, the hat stayed in the same place, so I never thought to calibrate it. So I can only assume he calibrates it.
because we see the scene later on in the film where Hugh Jackman sort of like chalks up the floor with a marker and then tests it
Yeah.
out.
I can only assume he calibrated it.
And I guess I don't really know how the consciousness works as well, because the consciousness is still in the two individuals. But sometimes, later on in the film, I know I'm jumping ahead, but he says some nights I will be the man in the box, and then other days I wouldn't be.
Yeah.
So I'm still trying to figure out how that kind of works out, but... I mean, I guess it does get kind of a little bit far-fetched with the cloning machine, but for some reason,
Yeah.
I'm cool with it, and I'm still on board with it. Oh, man. Oh. That's a
Okay.
clever
Is
line.
Scarlett Johansson the villain in this film? I don't know who the villain in this film is.
That's another tell line there where he says, "Do you trust me? Well, then trust Fallon." Good script in this film. Really, really good script. Really well thought out.
He protects the thing that I care about.
Mm.
Now, what I'd like to know is how they broke down the fence without being electrocuted. They may or may not have blown up the entire place.
I'm sure there were some casualties along the way when they were trying to break in.
It looks like they just completely blew up the entire place there.
What's in the box? It is a very menacing-looking box.
Yeah.
But it is quite a
The
cool
box
shot
is
where
not
it's
on the
like...
screen yet. I'll tell you when the box is on screen for me.
Oh, okay.
That box there, that'll be the one.
Mm-hmm. It's really, really nicely framed as well, how it's just the big, open, empty room with that in the middle. It's almost like the monolith from 2001: A Space Odyssey, just really...
That'd be an interesting ending. The ending to 2001: Space Odyssey at the end of this film. Oh no, they just opened the gate.
Well, I guess they'd already cleared out, right, and they knew they were coming, so...
Yeah.
No, it needs to be like the ending of Jumanji, where they discard the machine, and then it washes up, and then some other unsuspecting people find it.
Yeah.
See, didn't he just say there that he didn't know if Tesla had ironed out the kinks in it?
Yeah. Ah. Yes, you, Borden.
Oh... God, I love this
All
film.
planned. At that point, you know it's all planned.
I love this film so much.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen that actor in something before. The guy talking to Christian Bale right now.
Yeah.
So this is what I mean. Was he always a lord, and the act was that he wasn't?
Not sure.
I mean, it just this is probably easily one of Nolan's best films.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, she's so good in this scene.
Yeah. Unfortunately, guys, I'm gonna have to jump off
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
at this point in time. So one of my I just want to say some final points before I leave.
Yeah.
It is one of Nolan's one of Nolan's best films. It's an intricacy that you don't see very often, and I think in terms of how it's played out and the intricacies of the plot and the reveals that happen, it's something that few directors actually manage to do right.
Mm.
And I think it does really, really work here. Like, really work.
So how would you rank it in terms of Nolan's other works? Would it be up near the top as one of your favourites, or?
I think it probably is one of my favourites. It probably is my favourite. I do think he has made better films, but it is something I enjoy watching thoroughly every time. And I have enjoyed watching it the moments I have watched of it. I've enjoyed.
That's cool. Well, hopefully when we do the next one, we're aiming for like the last Sunday of every month, I think we said. So
I feel like also once this film is finished, we'll speak to George and he can get his poll up so we have a bit more time for people to vote on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. This was sort of an impromptu thing. We came up with this just very sort of last minute, didn't we? So as I said, we're ironing out the kinks on it, but I'm sure that the second one and onwards will be a bit more, slightly better organised than this one. But this one's going all right, actually. I'm enjoying this one.
At the moment, she is working it out, and she is grabbing the rope, and there are birds squawking, and she has hung herself.
Actually jump scared me when I first saw this movie.
It's like that bit in The Dark Knight where it just
Oh yeah.
on the thing. My time is short, so I'm gonna love you and leave you.
Oh, okay. Thank
Later,
you very
Tom.
much, Tom. Thank you for jumping on, mate.
That's right.
And now,
next time
oh,
we're gonna-
hold on. Hugh Jackman has picked up notes from the Michael Caine School of Dating. There's stuff the card under. Oh, no small talk, just straight to the bedroom. What is that?
He's
That
very
is
subtle
just
about it, isn't he?
amazing.
Really?
Now, I believe this is almost the prestige of the film.
Yeah.
I feel like we're coming off the turn here. Very interesting to know as well, he hired blind people.
Yeah. I thought it was really cool, actually, how he did that.
Yeah.
To maintain the illusion. Mm.
I just gotta keep watching, but
Yeah. We're like, what, just slightly over half hour away from finishing,
yeah.
Yeah.
including credits. Andrew Lloyd Webber looking motherfucker just got out of a horse and cart.
I would like to know how he knew which performance Christian Bale's character would be at.
Hmm. Oh god, this guy's a dick.
Right. Anyway, enjoy the rest of the movie.
Okay, man.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks a lot.
Enjoy the rest of the film as well.
Yeah, will do. Thanks a lot, man. See it. And then there were two.
Nope. Well, yes, but that's kind of revealing the plot of the film.
Witchcraft. I love the scene in a minute as well. I know it's not yet because Christian Bale has to see it, but where he's absolutely just going insane trying to figure out how he did it. It's fun to try and guess as well. Like you can work it out very easily, but even when you watch it multiple times, which
film always
Christian Bale
has
did.
guessing. Always.
Yeah. Even now, and I've seen this film probably close to 10 times. He's just said the truth is I've never loved Sarah. I don't know if you're close to that or not.
That I've never loved Sarah. There we go.
And you kind of do sit back and think, well, why couldn't each of the brothers have just been with each of them? But you know that if that had have carried on, then the whole illusion of the trick would have been shattered.
Just one. I think I may have found the tell, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
It's very, very subtle. I've just got to work it out first, whether that is the tell. It's funny because this entire film is based around this one big trick about a person disappearing then reappearing, and that is basically what they do to each other throughout the entire film.
Yeah. God, there's
Everything,
so many themes and stuff you can
everything
just read
about
into this
this
film.
film is just, yeah, it's amazing.
It's like even that new things I'm picking up and everything. It's so good.
Mm.
I mean, very little action, right? Like, there's no. It's all character based. It's very slow. It's very
Yeah.
building, but that works to the film's credit. Did you ever used to watch that TV show that used to come on, Breaking the Magician's Code?
No.
It's pretty good. It was he like had a sort of skull face, this magician, and he used to tell you how they did big tricks.
Yeah.
Kind of ruins it after you've seen it, but that's a nice sort of moment there as well that just happened,
Yeah.
where he brings up the death of his wife. This movie makes me want to have a cane.
Yes. As the cane gets tapped.
Well, of course he did, right? Because Hugh Jackman gave him his number.
Mm. Oh. Okay, compose. See, this part, I don't understand which performance they were able to guess. Like, how he's able to tell. Obviously, he's looking, but he doesn't go up on stage on this one. But how he's able to tell which performance he will go up on stage on and which performance he will just not reappear.
Well, this is how, because he has to be in that spot, right? Because that's where they have the trapdoor that goes into the tank. So this is what I mean. Like he says, so he is effectively killing.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
I don't know. So even now, I'm still trying to guess it.
We can talk about it at the very end.
Okay.
All you know is there is a trapdoor, there is some lightning, and he reappears.
Mm-hmm. And then he fell off the balcony. Are you not entertained?
Basically. And now he can fully take the bow.
Mm-hmm.
Bravo.
I love this scene. Oh, you're behind me still.
How does he do it?
Yeah.
It's a complete flip round from previous one.
And this might be just me, but you can tell Borden just kind of doesn't give a crap anymore. And rightly so for like what's happened. Like he's just lost. Things have got out of hand.
And that was it there as well. Why can't you outthink him to Borden?
Yeah.
And that makes you think Borden is kind of... At that point, you think he's got to be involved.
Mm. And I guess it kind of mirrors Michael Caine's character, Borden, right at this point. Yeah. Both the engineers just kind of realised that enough was enough. And sort of mirrored there as well, how both of them are looking at the same time. Do you think you found the tell then, what you were talking about earlier?
No.
No?
No.
I guess we'll never know. It's like Christian Bale went with the disguise last time of not adding a beard, and I was like, you know what? No, I need the beard.
No, I need the beard. Although the ending wouldn't be the same if he didn't have the beard.
Mm,
That's the whole point.
yeah,
So it's the only reason why he's able to get backstage.
yeah. It's like the look of intensity on both of our faces as we just watched the movie.
Yeah. Froze Kane. And this scene is the big scene in the film.
Mm-hmm. Just a close up of the blind guy at the minute.
Yeah. No, at the moment it's him sat in the chair, Bell walking over,
Oh, Jesus.
and now it's the close up.
Okay. The blind guy, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now he's looking at the tank.
Yeah.
Now, how does he know this is the one where he won't come back?
I guess he doesn't, because at the end he says, like, he never knew if he was going to be the man in the box or...
No, what I don't understand is, in this trick, he gets murdered, yeah?
Yeah.
But obviously, we know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
How does he know that tonight is the night where he's going to get murdered?
No, he gets murdered every night.
No.
Every
No,
single night.
dude. No, listen. You're not listening to me.
Okay.
Without spoiling anything, how does he know that tonight is the night where Angia will be at the performance?
No, do you mean Christian Bale will be at the performance?
Yeah, that's the one, sorry.
I guess he doesn't. It's just happenstance that this happened. But I guess he knew that he would at some point because he knows what he's like and how obsessed he would be to know how he did it.
Yeah.
Like the night that it happened is irrelevant. He just knew that it would happen eventually.
The scene is very silent.
Hmm.
Found guilty.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so he didn't know, did he? Oh.
No.
Yeah.
That's what you're thinking now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Without spoiling, I think he didn't know whether to reappear or not. Although the shouting may have given it away.
Yeah. Oh man. So Christian Bale's just been caught out of his cell, right? Because his daughter's there.
He is now walking out the cell. He sees his daughter.
Yeah.
His daughter is running over.
Yeah, around the same time.
Yeah. Ah!
Oh, the plot thickens. There's the payoff right there. God, I'm so engrossed in this scene right now. I don't even know what to talk about. This is great.
Oh, and he rips it up.
Oh, so I'm guessing based off this, then Lord Cordlow / Angia is kind of going off what the Chinese man was with the fishbowl trick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
all along. Which would explain why he would have the money to travel to Colorado and stay there all the time. And I realised it would be very silent during this.
Yeah.
What could we talk about?
This scene.
This yeah.
This is where he realizes.
So going back to what you were saying, was it you who was saying it earlier, who posed the question of whether Michael Caine is a good guy?
Yeah.
Yes. From this, I would say he is.
Yeah, but before that point, he wasn't. He turned.
Mm.
In fact, he is the definition. His story arc is the definition of the Prestige.
Yeah. As is Christian Bale's character.
Yes. However, the one who loses in the end does not follow the same kind of magician's path.
No. Although Hugh Jackman's final line of the movie,
Yeah.
it does sort of go back to what he would have been like when he was starting out as a magician.
Yeah.
Like the reason why he did it. And it is kind of admirable when you say that, but then you think back to the journey he went on to get there, and it's very much not. So oh man.
That's where you, if you're paying attention, that's where you find out.
Yeah.
Because you know who said that line.
Mm. And I guess the story as well, like I don't know if I'm reading into this too much, but I'm just kind of having fun breaking it down. Both characters lose a part of themselves.
Yeah.
That case there with the brothers, and then what's going to get revealed in a minute with Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
As physically and mentally, right? I mean, we see later with Christian Bale with the fingers.
Well, this is the final 5 minutes or so. This is the end of the film, and it really does build up quite harshly at this point because you don't know what's going to happen.
No. I mean, people that watch it, when I showed it my mate, when I talked about that earlier, he was still just throwing ideas out there. Things like, oh, yeah, it's all in their minds, right? It's all going to be a dream or something. I'm like, no.
No.
If it was, that would be a slap in the face.
That's Inception.
That's
he did
exactly,
that a couple of years later, yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, it's whenever he says this line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever he says, and he clues onto it as well.
Mm.
He's like, "What are you pulling?"
It's just the editing as well, just how this whole
Now,
film
I've
is
always
just put
tried to
together.
work out what this last line is. I'm glad I got my subtitles on this time.
The last line of
The last line that Christian Bale's character says at this scene
Abracadabra.
is what he says.
Yeah.
I've always never been able to catch it. I'm just like, what the hell's he saying?
Yeah, abracadabra. I love how this film looks. You know what I mean? Just like this,
All the
just
different mirrored images.
it's very, it's very dark again. Like I keep saying with
Yeah.
Nolan, but it fits with sort of like the time period and everything. Just looks great.
Mm.
This bit, oh, Michael Caine's line.
Oh no, I'm not up to Michael Caine speaking yet.
Okay, let me know. Let me says what it says. Yeah, it's felt like going home.
Yeah, here we go. Take a minute to consider your achievement.
And I mean, really, with that, with Michael
Mm,
Caine's final line,
yeah,
that's sort of you could punctuate the film there. Really, that's sort of like the full stuff of the movie.
yeah. It was a lie. Or it
Yeah.
was all a lie. This is where you start to clue in.
Yeah. And when you've got I don't know if you get this sensation as well, if it's just me, but when you've got a film with like a really good twist that's building and you keep guessing,
Yeah.
you like almost feel it in your stomach, like the tenseness of the scene. Like it's just so like
Michael Caine nods there. I'm not. Does he realize?
yeah. Well,
I think he does.
he'd settle this up, didn't he? He nodded to yeah. Oh, the music here as well. This is where the music kicks
Yeah.
in for me with the strings. Ooh,
He's just straight up shooting.
yeah. Gangster pose, silent gun. Now, I don't know when you first saw this movie, however many years ago it was. For me, it was pretty much.
Where, that point there. That's where
Yeah.
I went. Oh.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Can you remember your reaction? But you just
Yeah.
kind of said it there when you first got to this. But yeah,
And he's just like, what? What? No, no.
but this is what I was going to say. Alfred, then that's Batman. This is what Michael Caine said all along, right? That he came up with the solution right up from the bat. He says he uses a double, and Hugh Jackman was like, "No, it can't be that simple." But sometimes the greatest tricks
We
are
were
the
both
simplest
Alan.
ones.
We were both Borden.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Mm.
Ah!
And I do love twists like this, how it flashes
Yeah.
back to show you stuff earlier in the film. Like I talked about like the Saw movie. I love the Saw franchise, apart from the last one. How they did the twists at each like the end of their films is just fantastic. And they do it in a similar sort of structure. And the tragedy is they are both the same, even at this
Yeah.
point. Oh,
So he basically kills himself,
yeah.
and then kills
For
himself every
all the
night. after.
shows, every single night.
Yeah.
So I guess it's the consciousness, right, of the first individual. Like they both become the same people, the copy as well.
Yeah.
But it's like the physical body would either be transported or dropped into the box. I guess that's how
Yeah.
it would work.
Oof.
See, this is the scene I was talking about. Like,
Yeah.
there is like a pang of sympathy at this point for Hugh Jackman.
All for nothing.
Hmm.
This is it, isn't it?
Just the look on their faces. This is beautifully acted by Hugh Jackman in this scene.
Yeah.
Just the look on their faces, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
still a better death scene than Talia al Ghul. Book ended as well with this monologue.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And then the final flicking between the two.
Mm-hmm. That's really the heart of the story there. That's the real
Yeah.
trick, I guess, at the end. The daughter stays unaware of what really happened,
But he knows what happened.
but they don't. Yeah, that's
So
quite
Michael Caine is the supporter of the trick or the magic, not the person.
Yeah,
He was always in it for the magic, whilst those two were feuding over the people, not
but
the
then
magic itself.
I think at the end, then he did realise and have that sympathy for Christian Bale's character. That's quite a nice
Yeah.
image there. Oh, hang on.
The hat.
Last shot. That final shot.
Yeah.
I really do hate this credit song, though.
Mm. And that final line, you really don't want to work out, you want to be fooled, is
Yeah.
what is on the minimalistic poster. And I think that really is a good ending to the film. I'm just going to pause that just so I don't have to listen to the end credit song. But
I'm
we
going
will
to keep the credits on.
we can talk about that ending for just a short while. Just
Yeah,
before
well, there's about 4 minutes of the credits left. So, yeah.
I've just paused my film so we can just go on.
I'm going to keep it playing on, but yeah. Man, I love watching this film again.
It's so good. It's so good.
It's so tightly written, not a wasted scene at all, not a wasted character. And I've never really, I guess I've noticed it before, but just talking about it now with you and Tom earlier, just how we broke it down, I never really knew how much it is bookended all the little
Yeah.
character and plot threads, everything is tied up perfectly.
I didn't
So
realize
well written.
how well put together it was.
Yeah,
Because everything in this film is linked, everything, right down to the letter. And you don't get that with many films. And I know that Christopher Nolan tries to make you think, or at least goes that way. And in some
Yeah.
cases, the action may or may not take over. But in other cases, like, he is there to invoke your thoughts. He is there to kind of make you think and feel about his films. So
yeah,
he's a brilliant director, whether his films fly or flop. But this film really did fly, and I feel like it needs to be talked about more because it is possibly the greatest film about magic of all time, for sure. But it's a brilliant film overall.
Yeah, it is about magic, obviously, but it's also about obsession as well. And I think it's probably one of the best films in that category as well.
I think some would argue Assassination of Jesse James by the Coward
similar vein, yeah.
I would think, yeah.
But maybe not Dark Knight Rises, or Interstellar, but before then, Nolan was really, really just so clever with the structure of the films. Just how everything. Memento's probably the best one in that case. Inception probably follows it, but this one also.
Inception goes out of its way to bend your mind. This one just does it naturally.
Yeah, and I think like every other time I've watched this film, I've really just been like, oh, gearing up for the twist. Oh, that twist's fantastic. But as I said, that today, when we broke it down more, you realise how tightly written everything is. So good, such a good movie. So I guess I want to ask, like, I know that you like this film, but why, out of all the reasons, why did you put this one on your short list of films that you wanted to nominate for today? What is it about this film?
I was going through my DVD catalogue, and a lot of the films we have talked about on this channel at some point or another. Another film that I was tempted to put up there was The Raid 2, which I've got sat next to me. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. But I thought, you know what, to settle down with first, I got to pick some solid films that people would probably want to analyze. And when I thought about films that wanted to be analyzed, I came up with this or Inception for my fifth option. And I was thinking over, people always talk about Inception. People always do. It's one of the go-to films that people will talk about because it was meant to break your mind. This film just did it naturally, and it had such a good twist. And I thought, do you know what? We'll go with twists for two of my options, which is why I went with The Usual Suspects, which was the original big film ending twist. And I just thought this one, I'll put it there as an option just because this film is so good in that. It is so good. And the ending is, I'd say, bittersweet.
Yeah.
And I do love a good film with a bittersweet ending.
It does kind of leave you reeling still at the end, which is really good about it. And I don't really...
Just that first time reaction. Just for that first time reaction of what I felt when I first saw this film.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know how the rest of these timestamp zeros are going to get, but it would kind of be nice. I don't want to just pigeonhole it as this, but films that maybe not many people have seen would be pretty cool. I know it's
my round two will be that. I'm telling you now, my round two is all going to be films that people haven't seen, probably.
What's going to be, I don't want to say unfortunate. So if it does happen this way, then we might have to watch it on our own before. But if a film's picked that none of us have seen before, then you kind of don't want to talk over it as you watch it.
Well, no, because then you get your first time reaction. So maybe we pick a film that maybe we know the others have seen, or some people haven't seen it because, it'd be interesting. Because
I think it's always nice to discover a film that you've never seen before, you've heard great things about, or
just like Neon and the Girl, which you didn't like for some strange reason.
No. But no, like with The Prestige, like it's, as I say, a film that if someone's seen it, they all love it. But it's not one of Nolan's most talked about films, I don't think, which is a crying shame because it is. I feel like
Nolan's films are now defined by The Dark Knight, like the Batman series, Inception, and possibly Interstellar. People talk about those films. I feel like Dunkirk will be good next year. Is it coming out next year?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be. It'll be. I'm going to put my hand up now and say it's going to be an Oscar contender.
Yeah.
Especially if he's going to be. From what I've heard, it's basically filming that one scene from Saving Private Ryan and stretching over 2 hours. And that scene is the greatest war scene of all time. So I just want to see more of that.
And I mean, he's going more. Well, he's reached this level now as a director where they can just give him all of the money,
unlimited budget.
Yeah, but, and I mean, we sort of saw this more after Dark Knight, I would say, but once he made that, he was just given complete carte blanche from the studio. It was just like, yeah, make Inception. You know, before then he probably wouldn't have been able to.
No.
But they had that level of trust in him, and I still think he does have that level of trust, regardless of what I thought of his directing style post 2012. You know, I still think he's without a doubt one of the best directors in the business. I'm not just going to say he's awful just because of that movie.
Yeah, no.
No, so this was a lot of fun. I loved watching this movie again. So that was our first episode of Timestamp Zero. I know it was a bit disjointed in places and we had sync issues. If anyone does know how to resolve that for future ones, please do comment. But also comment, let us know what you think.
Basically, I reckon it'll be down to watching it on the same format, because I was through Amazon and you were watching it on DVD. So if we all got the same DVD, if we knew what the result was going to be, maybe if we did the poll slightly more in advance, we could then buy the DVD or the Blu-ray. We could watch it all on that format. Or you could get Amazon Prime, you know, make it easier.
Yeah. Well, now that we know what we're doing and sort of how we're going to set it out.
It was a good tester. And it was a great film to start on. Yeah,
and I mean, if George is doing the next one, then I mean, he can get his shortlist together, you know, within the week and get it out there so people have a lot of time to vote on it.
I think he's already got a shortlist. I've got a feeling.
Yeah, I'm sure he has, yeah. Yeah, it's going to be Transformers 1, 2, 3, 4, and Pain and Gain. But yeah, so if we
he's got to have the Rock.
Oh, just it's gonna have like a rock marathon, which I'd be strangely cool with because I haven't really seen many rock movies. But yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. I think it's gonna be a very different shortlist to the one that you came up with, though.
Yeah,
but that's cool, right? That's cool because we don't want like the same thing every month.
We love diversity. Well, we're trying to get diversity in the channel, so
yeah. Yeah, definitely. And this is, so as I said earlier, this is going to be the last Sunday of every month we're going to try. I mean, if it takes off, we could bring it in, but we have all the other shows to do as well. So this would be a nice thing to end each month, I think. So yeah, be sure to comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. A lot more coming up on the channel. We've got loads more reviews coming out. Me on the reactions as well. And yeah, exciting things are happening with the channel as we come up to our 1 year anniversary. So Tate, this was a lot of fun. Great pick with Prestige. I'm fine with that. Thank you to all you guys who voted. And we'll let you know when the next poll is up, and we'll get on the next episode of Timestamp Zero. So that'll do it for me. I'll do it for Tate. And until the next video, we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.